frustrating start to a long road trip for the Red Sox as they dropped 3 in a row and only scored 9 runs in the series. As I mentioned, they've been up and down. We all remember the 10-game losing streak. Then they won 7 in a row. Then they hit Cleveland. Now they've lost 3 in a row. They are season-high 8.5 games behind the first place Toronto Blue Jays. To help me break down the state of the Sox, we now bring in Boston Globe columnist Dan Shaughnessy. When you look at this team, Dan, and there's a little bit of frustration, I think, from John Farrell. They don't know what they have. He doesn't know what they have. So let me ask you, what do they have? Do they have a team that can be a playoff team, or at least contending for a playoff spot deep into the season?
Well, it's interesting. We sort of have ups and downs with this product now, because in the old days you looked at the long haul, but I don't know, baseball with all the talk shows and everything, it's more immediate now. Like football, you react to the last thing you saw and overreact to it maybe. So the 10 losses, big reaction. The 7 wins, maybe too much reaction there. Now this, I thought they would sweep the Indians. The Indians aren't very good, but they're better than the Red Sox right now. Now the Sox have the hard games to play at Detroit, at Baltimore. They're hard to watch right now. They're not scoring runs. Their outfield is really just pathetic. Guys hitting 7, 8, 9. And obviously in the last couple weeks they've had injuries, but this has really been a season-long underperformance. And a little bit of maybe a demonstration that last year was the fluke and was the outlier and the aberration. I mean, they weren't that good. They got away with it. It was great. But this is, like I say, hard to watch right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're so inconsistent, and I think the inconsistency can be traced pretty much to the offense. I mean, you don't know what type of production you're going to get out of certain spots. It's a real mix and match situation with the lineup. Daniel Nava back in there last night. He was a guy who was a big part of the offense last year, and it seems like he's an afterthought. It's like, oh yeah, this is a guy we should probably get some at-bats just to see if he can spark anything. I was not a fan of the Sizemore thing to begin with. I thought it was one of the more ridiculous storylines, that I in recent memory, that he was going to come back and be this.
Did people write about that?
Everyday all-star type of guy, and it seems like he's fallen off a little bit when it looked like maybe he had undergone a resurgence. But I want to hit on your point about last year. I mean, is that what you think this is, that a lot of guys are returning? Because when I think about last year, it's like, who really had a career year in the lineup?
Well, Daniel Nava, for one. But I mean, overall, it wasn't tremendous overachievement, but they hit 7 for 7 on free agencies. And, those guys all came in. And just the batting average is down like 50 points overall, and runners in scoring position don't even go there. So it's just, they're not clicking. Individually, you're right. It wasn't like a lot of guys spiking numbers, but they did lose Jacoby Ellsbury.
Big loss.
They lost their catchers. I don't know how we're playing that. They lost their shortstop for a while, and now he's going to get accused of being the cooler now. Stephen Drew comes in. What happens there? So it's just not working.